Shiny hunting is a little broken in Scarlet and Violet, so I want to make it just a bit more fair, a bit more perfectly balanced as all things should be, if you will. So I shiny hunted Pokemon for 24 hours, and then Thanos snapped half the Pokedex out of existence. Yeah, I hope y'all don't get too mad at me for this little stunt. So I split this hunt over the course of 3 days, with exactly 8 hours of shiny hunting per day. I count the time spent shiny hunting as the amount of time I was actively using Sparkling Sandwich powers, which means that for a full 24 hours I'd need 96 Herba Mystica. And I totally obtained all of these through ethical means with no time-changing shenanigans, don't you worry. I didn't really have too much of a plan beyond just hunting for shinies I liked with the sandwiches, so that's exactly what I did for the first day. One Pokemon immediately came to mind when I was starting out, and that was Marie. This cute little sheep turns a shade of a vibrant pink, looking almost like cotton candy when it's shiny. It appears in pack spawns in South Province area too, and it's the only electric type in the area. This made it the perfect hunt to warm up with, and as you can expect, what with me having the shiny charm and all, it didn't take long to find this Baba pink sheep. And let me just say, Mr. Mareep, your fuzz is looking awfully delectable on this fine evening. I hope you don't mind if I just have a little bite. I guess not. And even though I still had more than half the time still ticking, I didn't manage to find anything else in this go. So that's one sandwich down, only 15 more to go for day 1. After such an easy hunt, I was feeling incredibly confident. Perhaps a bit too confident, honestly. So I set my sights a bit higher with the next target. And by setting my heights higher, I mean literally, because I need to look up to find Applin in all these tall trees. Applin is a pretty difficult hunt in this game because it primarily spawns in trees. It's also small and hard to see, and only one can spawn in a tree at a time. So the encounter rate for this Pokemon is pretty trash. For this reason, the hunt can be extremely time-consuming, so let's get down to business. Was that it? Was that the green Applin? Oh my god, I cannot believe this hunt took only 20 minutes. I was prepared to be at this headbutt grind for hours, but okay, I'm glad to add this cute little Granny Smith to my collection so early. This next hunt really needs no explanation. Go-Goat may not be one of my favorite shinies of all time, but it's extremely noticeable in the overworld. So after looking intently for that apple just a bit ago, I wanted to give my eyes a break. So I set off up the rocky face of Glacedo Mountain, and before I knew it, I was face to face with its majestic golden horns. It's pretty amazing how we've gotten a shiny per sandwich. My luck is insane right now. I'm sure the game's just saving up to give me a dry spell later, though. You know, one shiny I've seen a lot about in this game is Reller. Normally this Pokemon rolls a ball of mud. Yeah, let's call it mud, all around the Asado Desert. But every once in a blue moon, you come across one rolling something much more valuable. The shiny of this beetle rolls what appears to be a nugget, and I just had to get my hands on one. Of course, when you catch it and get a closer look, you see it isn't perfectly smooth like a nugget, but that's still solid gold right there and it'd fetch a pretty penny on the market. This bug sandwich was also the first sandwich I made that gave me 2 shinies in one, since after catching this shiny Reller, I went over to the Sokarat Trail and found this Buzzerbeater Fortress. So many people have been showing off the cool metallic textures of shinies like this in Scissor, and now I can finally see the hype for myself. Yeah, it's a good thing I saved before starting the battle. Five shinies and 4 sandwiches is pretty darn good. Too bad the next hunt brought it all crashing down. One of my favorite shinies in this game is Cloth, and for good reason too. Shiny Cloth takes on a very striking electric blue color to replace its orange shell, and overall I think it looks fantastic. And that's not even mentioning the fact that the inspiration for this shiny comes from the rare mutations of crabs that cause their shells to be blue in the real world. So those crabs with that mutation are literally real-life shiny Pokemon. I knew I just had to have one of these for myself, and I was feeling confident going in. But boy, I really shouldn't have been. I am not gonna sugarcoat it. This hunt took me 4 hours. That is longer than all of the previous shiny hunts combined. That's not a lot when you compare it to hunts pre-Legends Arceus, but riding the high of getting at least one shiny per sandwich for my first 4 made me come in with unreasonable expectations. The thing that made this hunt so bad was the fact that Cloth is not the only rock type in the area. You also have to deal with the pesky Knackley. Knackley spawns a lot more frequently than Cloth, so the hunt takes a lot longer to complete. There's another issue with these spawns as well. See for yourself. I ended up catching 9 shiny Knackley before finding a single shiny Cloth in the last minute of my 8th sandwich. But even when I did get one to pop up on my screen, I wasn't quite in the clear just yet. Because when I went to take a video of it... Oh my god, oh no, please, no! Oh my god. Well, at least I saved. Let's go ahead and load that back up. Where are you, Cloth? Come out wherever you are. I don't see it. Did I do something wrong? Oh my god, I swear if I have to do another 4 hours of this. Let's try restarting again. God, I hope this works. Oh my god, there you are. Thank you. And that, kids, is why saving before doing anything to a shiny Pokemon is of the utmost importance. With only 2 hours left for day 1, I spent the rest of my time on some easier hunts. With a few normal sandwiches, I snagged 2 shiny Fletchlings and a Kamala. I was shocked I even noticed this Kamala was shiny, to be honest. The only difference is the little log it holds, and that thing is tiny. And finally, to round up the day, I found a shiny Magneton from an outbreak, and used up the remaining sandwich time to get a Ponyard as well. And of course, I matched Ponyard's color with the Heavy Ball I had on hand. It's too perfect to match not to. Well, it looks like my luck may have finally returned to me. Let's take a look at the spoils. I've got lots planned for day 2. But before we get into that, I'd like to ask that if you're enjoying this content, please consider subscribing below so you can stay up to date on the videos that I put out. You can always unsubscribe later if you change your mind, of course, but seeing support from the community also really makes me feel like I'm doing something right. And I also have a Discord that I linked below in case you want to see even more updates than just what I put on YouTube. Alright, thank you. The first sandwich on the agenda for day 2 was a fire sandwich. I was in the market for a cute yellow puppy Pokemon after being inspired by another YouTuber you may have seen popping up on your recommended feed lately. Pearl's Pokemon, if you just happen to be watching this right now, thanks for the inspiration. So I started the hunt in North Area 1 and noticed that in addition to lots of Arcanine spawns, I was also getting things like Houndoom and Camerupt. Instead of switching areas just yet though, I just went with it since I like those shinies too. And so after only a few minutes into this sandwich, I managed to find a shiny Houndour. Makes sense since they seem to be spawning much more frequently than the others. After catching it, I then decided to go to Area 2 instead, since I really don't want a repeat of the Cloth conundrum. And so in this area, the only fire types that spawn are Growlithe and Arcanine. And my shiny luck on day 2 started out off the radar, since I got the shiny Growlithe without even needing to make another sandwich. Who's a cute doggy? Yeah, you're a cute doggy. Oh, come here, doggy. Woo! What's your opinion of shiny Sandygast? If you didn't answer OMG, this shiny is one of the best ever, S tier, then you are objectively wrong. Get your stinky opinion out of here. For all of us kings with superior opinions and intellects, though, Shiny Sandygast is hands down among the best. So it's a shame I didn't have one just yet. But after running back and forth on the beach, I got one in the last few seconds of my sandwich. Just look at it. Mwah. Perfection. 6 tofu slabs on a sandwich with a burger, bell peppers, onions, and tomatoes is a pretty abnormal sandwich for normal types. But at least it's easy to stack. There are loads of normal types I want to hunt because normal type shinies are just generally good. Well, except for the mice. I don't dare want to see any of you in the comments saying Tandemaus is your favorite shiny. I swear to you, I will find you and make you regret what you said. That's not a threat, that's a promise. I spent a whole hour on these normal sandwiches and got my hands on a cute yellow Swablu and 2 Dunsparce from Area 0. I kinda hope Dunsparce doesn't get snapped, because at the end of this video I plan on evolving tons of my remaining shinies as a montage, and it would be so sick if one of these could be 3 segment. Only time will tell though. After these hunts, I was again at a loss, so I decided to try hunting with a water sandwich in Casseroya Lake. But I almost immediately regretted doing so because the frame rate is just so terrible. I'll just take this diseased Marill and be on my merry way. So I'm gonna teach you guys about this one awesome spot to hunt in East Area 3. If you go into this little cave here and walk back to this part of the texture where it looks like a rock is jutting out and turn around, you'll see tons of Pokemon start spawning out of the side of the wall. This is a great place to picnic reset, so I wanted to give this method a shot and hunt for Larvitar. And I kid you not, within just 5 minutes, I found this shiny. Dang, he got the whole squad backing him. What they gonna do though? Sheesh! The next hunt I tried for was Paldean Wooper, but I don't want to talk about it. It was an absolute waste of a poison sandwich, and I learned just how much I hate South Area 5. No Wooper is worth that much hassle of looking through the muddy bog. And unfortunately, my next dragon sandwich didn't turn up any shinies either. I really wanted that shiny Dratini too. I think old Larvitar's squad may have put a curse on me or something. This sucks. But that trend thankfully didn't continue for long. My next 2 sandwiches were ice types, and I somehow managed to get 6 shinies in a single hour. I was just hunting for Citadel because I think the Titan shiny is really sick, and I didn't want to hunt the big guy straight up since he's much more difficult. Running all over the snowy face of Glacado Mountain brought me face to face with a Sneasel, a full odds Hirayama, 2 male Snowrunts, 1 female Snowrunt, and finally my target Citadel. This was, by far, the most successful hunt I've ever had. Unless you want to count the ghost sandwich I used immediately afterwards that gave me 2 Sableye within the same picnic resets. What are the odds? Well, technically they're about 0.02%. But that's 1 in 5,000, that's crazy! My luck died down a tiny bit after this point, but I was still on cloud 9 and just hunting away. And so in the last 20 seconds of my next sandwich, I finally got a peek at this sleek blue Orthworm in the Asado Desert. Just look how cool he is! How can anyone say they don't like this shiny? No, did I say my luck died down? I was using this advanced Jedi technique called lying. Because I went with an electric sandwich to do an easy Shinx hunt, and ended up getting way more than I bargained for. In addition to Shinx, in this one shiny sandwich, I also caught a Kilowattrel and 2 shiny Voltorbs back to back. Like, literally, right after catching this one, I turned my back and there was the other one. With my luck seemingly fixed, I went back to hunt Dratini, and while I only managed to get 1 in the full 30 minutes, that's still a lot better than before. This is my shiny Dratini. There are many just like it, but this one is mine. And now that we're down to the last hour of day 2, there's one specific early game Pokemon that has caught my eye ever since the first day of release. Seriously, who wouldn't want a shiny Lechonk? He just looks like an ordinary pig. So adorable. And there's no way I get anything but it. Is that a shiny Scatterbug? Full odds right here. What the heck? Alright, whatever dude. You're cool too. Back to the Lechonk hunt though. This one really came close. But like so many of the hunts before in the last minute, I climbed up this tiny cliff and saw my bacon just sitting there minding its own business. And using one of the 2 love balls I got from the Valentine's Day mystery gift, I can finally say that love is stored in the Lechonk. Lots of shinies to show off for day 2. Let's do it. B-roll. For day 3, I thought up a little challenge for myself to do. There's a set of elusive Pokemon that are the hallmark pieces of shiny collections in Scarlet and Violet. Of course, I'm talking about the Paradox Pokemon. So for day 3, I'm going to be catching every single Paradox Pokemon, and I think raising the stakes would be pretty exciting here. So if I don't catch all 7 Scarlet Paradox Pokemon, I have to release every single shiny I caught in this challenge. Seven shinies in 8 hours doesn't seem so bad on the surface, but some of these paradoxes are the hardest to shiny hunt in the entire game. I wanted to try to get a super difficult one out of the way first, and so I scarfed down a yucky pickle and cucumber sandwich and descended into the crater. You probably already know what shiny I'm going for first. Slitherwing is very problematic to hunt because other Pokemon like to spawn a lot more frequently instead. Since I have a fighting sandwich active, this means pack spawns of Palmy and Metatite start appearing in the area almost immediately. To get Slitherwing to spawn in large numbers, all you have to do is use your Let's Go Mon to take out each of these packs one at a time. You can get up to 15 Slitherwings on your screen at a time, and once you hit that point, you just have to walk back and forth to despawn and respawn them in until you get your shiny. Oh, if only it could be that easy. I spent the first 5 sandwiches on this hunt and ended up with nothing to show for it except 2 Metatites and a Palmy. I was just about ready to start ripping my hair out in frustration, so starting with the 6th sandwich, I started to hunt a few other Paradoxes instead. There are 5 Paradox Pokemon that are generally easy to hunt. So to boost my spirits, I decided to do those 5 next and get them out of the way. I started out going for Screamtail, which can be hunted as an isolated encounter in the deepest part of Area 0. And so I made a fairy sandwich and descended once more. Shiny Screamtail is a minor difference from the original in my opinion. Its eyes go from yellow to red, and the back of its tail goes from salmon to more of a purple color. But overall, even if the change feels small, I think it's still a pretty nice shiny. Sometimes the subtlety is just what we need. And flying down this steep slope after just a few laps... Oh my gosh, I think that's it. Yes! 1 down, 6 to go. Next, I decided to try for Fluttermane by using an infamous exploit. If you go to the very bottom pool of the crater with a ghost sandwich during the day, the only thing that will spawn is shiny Fluttermane. I think this has something to do with the fact that the wild ghost types all disappear during the day, including inside the crater. But with the sandwich active, you'll still get the Fluttermane spawns. It's just they disappear as soon as they appear. Except for the shiny, of course. This feature was put in the game as a failsafe, so people don't lose their ghost type shinies when day breaks. Anyways, that's enough about my take on the weird mechanic. I was just really excited to test it out, and towards the end of my sandwich, one finally decided to spawn. I think if this momentum keeps up, we may actually have a chance. But that momentum didn't keep up, since I didn't find anything on my next sandwich while trying to get Brute Bonnet. I'm already halfway through my time and only have 2 out of the 7. But all isn't lost, since it appeared almost immediately after starting the next sandwich. Hang on a minute. If this is Ancient Amoonguss, did we design Pokeballs based on Brute Bonnet, or did Brute Bonnet evolve to look like our Pokeballs? Perhaps one of the most obvious shinies in Area 0 is Great Tusk. This big guy goes from being a mix of purples and grays to a weird combination of orange and green, making it really stick out like a sore thumb against the dark backdrop. And I'm not even joking when I say this, but within 2 minutes of starting my sandwich, I already had one on my screen ready to catch. And with all the extra time, I went back trying to get Slitherwing, but all I got was another Palmy, and also ended up accidentally despawning a shiny Medicham. Oof. With 4 down and 3 to go, the last easy hunt is Sandy Shocks. This ferrofluidic monster spawns like crazy near the rocky cliffs when you have an electric sandwich active, but the lighting in Area 0 can make it a little difficult to tell when you've actually found a shiny. After just 2 sandwiches, you look a little different. Are you shiny? Ah yeah, you're a shiny. Nice. And I found it so early on in the timer that I was also able to go hunt down 2 shiny baby Sandy Shoxes in an outbreak. With these and the Magneton from earlier, I can get myself a full shiny set. Well, it's come down to this. We have 3 sandwiches left to find 2 Pokemon, and these 2 are the hardest of the whole challenge. Sandwich 14 brought me no luck, and I was feeling pretty beat up about it going into the 15th. But something inside me told me to try hunting somewhere else. So I went down to Research Station 1 instead, and they were everywhere. Slitherwings as far as the eye could see. And I finally knew I had a shot at this thing as soon as those sweet apricot wings popped up on my screen. Oh my god, yes, yes! Finally! I cannot believe how long you took to find. And after getting super hyped from that, I went to try my hand at another Great Tusk, and did not walk away disappointed. So, there's one more left. One more sandwich, one more Pokemon. Roaring Moon is probably the hardest shiny hunt in both Scarlet and Violet. It's impossible to isolate it, and you can't cheese any pack spawns to get a room full of them. All you can do is be patient and walk around the room in a big circle. The rain battered me from all angles as I prepared the final course and made my last dive into the crater. This hunt is clearly no joke. Everything down here will chase you if they spot you, but if you go too quickly, you risk reducing your Roaring Moon spawns or even despawning your shiny altogether. I can attest to that. Oh my god. No! That was it! It literally flew away as soon as it showed up. The cave did at least console me with a Shiny's wireless after 15 minutes, but that won't matter if I can't get another Roaring Moon. I kept slowly walking around, growing more and more concerned with each passing second. And then, it finally happened. At the very end of the sandwich, it appeared. I don't know what to say. This is gonna look so scripted. 20-ish seconds left. Yes! Oh my god, it feels so good to catch you. So, I caught all 7 Shiny Paradox Pokemon in 8 hours, meaning that I don't have to release everything. Phew. I still have to release half, of course. And sorry to keep you waiting for what you really clicked on this video for, but I just gotta take a look at these guys. It's finally time to follow through on my promise, so here we are in Levincia, ready to say goodbye to half of what we caught. In total, over 24 hours, I got 59 shinies. Not too shabby if I do say so myself. Now, I know in the intro I teased that I would release these Pokemon, but I actually came up with a much better idea. Instead of letting these guys go to waste, I'm gonna be surprise trading them. So let's just fire up this simple Python script I wrote to randomly choose 200 Pokemon and see what's on the chopping block. So, out of what we caught, the following have been eliminated. Palmy, Shinx, Mareep, Applin, Hariyama, Knackley, Meditite, Kilowattrel, Dunsparce, Growlithe, Sneasel, Kamala, Larvitar, Snorunt, Ponyard, Screamtail, and Sandy Shocks. Let's get to the trading montage.